Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm taking you on a spine-chilling journey to the beautiful state of Goa. But don't worry, we're not going to the beaches or the parties today. Instead, we're venturing into the dark secrets that Goa hides beneath its sun-kissed exterior. Before we begin this terrifying tale, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, after today's story, you might want to think twice before your next trip to Goa. Today we are going to explore one of the most haunted places in India, a small village called Saligao, just 15 kilometers away from Panji. This isn't your typical Goa story. This is about Christalina, a vengeful spirit who has been terrorizing the village for over 70 years. Are you ready to meet the ghost of Saligao? Let me paint you a picture first. Goa is not just about beaches, parties, and Portuguese architecture. It has a very dark side that most tourists never see. The Portuguese ruled Goa for over 450 years, and with such a long colonial history, there are bound to be some restless spirits. Saligao village is a perfect example of this hidden darkness. Located in North Goa, this small village looks absolutely beautiful during the day. You'll see gorgeous Portuguese style houses, old churches, and lush green fields. But when the sun goes down, the atmosphere changes completely. The locals will tell you one thing very clearly: never ever walk past that banyan tree on the seminary road after dark, because that's where Christalina lives. Now, who is this Christalina? Well, nobody knows her full story. Some say she was a young woman who was wronged and died tragically. Others believe she was murdered near the banyan tree many decades ago. What we do know for sure is that her spirit has made that tree her permanent residence. This banyan tree, with its twisted branches and hanging roots, stands like a dark sentinel on the road leading to the famous Saligao-Pilerne Seminary. The tree itself looks ancient and mysterious, casting long, scary shadows even during the days. But here's what makes the story even more chilling. Christalina doesn't just haunt random people. She seems to have particular taste for, shall we say, handsome men. Let me tell you about the most famous encounter with Christalina. This incident happened way back in January 1953, and it's so well documented that even today people in Saligao talk about its hushed whispers. Padre Lourenço Pereira was a Portuguese missionary who came to Saligao in 1951. He was supervising the construction of Saligao-Pilerne Seminary, which was being built at that time. Padre was a man of strong faith, completely unafraid of local superstitions and ghost stories. Now, Padre had a routine. Every evening, he would take a walk along the seminary road. This road passed right by the haunted banyan tree. The locals had warned him many times. Padre Saab, don't walk past the tree after sunset. Christalina's ghost will get you. But being a man of God, he would just laugh it off. What ghost? I have Jesus Christ with me. No spirits can harm me, he would say. On one fateful Saturday evening in January 1953, Padre went for his usual walk, but this time something was different. As he approached the banyan tree, the evening suddenly became the usually dark and quiet. Even the birds stopped chirping. The Padre felt a strange pull towards the tree, as if something was calling him. Against his better judgment, he walked closer to the massive banyan tree with its hanging aerial roots, and then he vanished. When Padre didn't return for dinner that night, his assistant Frank and other workers became worried. They formed a search party and went looking for him. Where do you think they found him? Right under the banyan tree, lying face down in the mud, completely unconscious. When they carried Padre back to his room, he was in a terrible state. His body was covered in scratches and bruises that had no explanation. His face was buried in mud and he was shivering uncontrollably. But here's the most terrifying part. Padre had lost his voice completely. For 4 whole days, he couldn't speak a single word. The workers were so scared they nailed a cross to one of the branches on the banyan tree, hoping it would protect the area. On the 4th day, something even more shocking happened. Padre finally started speaking. But it wasn't his voice that came out of his mouth. It was the voice of a woman speaking in Konkani, the local Goan language. Padre, who only knew Portuguese and some English, was suddenly speaking fluent Konkani in feminine voice, and the name he kept repeating again and again was Christalina, Christalina, Christalina. The possessed Padre would describe being pulled towards the tree by invisible hands. He spoke of seeing visions of a woman in white, crying and screaming. He described feeling cold fingers grasping his soul, pulling him into darkness. The locals were absolutely terrified. Here was a Portuguese priest, a man of God, speaking in the voice of a local ghost that had been haunting their village for generations. You know what? Sitting here in Bangalore, I've heard many ghost stories from Karnataka as well, but this Goan story is something else entirely. Our South Indian spirits at least speak to you directly, but this Christalina, she has her own unique style of haunting. The church authorities were so disturbed by this incident that they immediately sent Padre to a hospital. After some treatment, when his own voice returned, they quickly shipped him back to Portugal. Padre never returned to Goa. Never, in fact, some say he never spoke about what happened to him that night under the banyan tree. The experience had traumatized him so much that he couldn't even bear to hear the word Goa mentioned in his presence. But this story doesn't end in 1953. Even today, people report strange encounters near that banyan tree. Locals say that on moonless nights, you can hear a woman crying near the tree. Some have even reported seeing a figure in white roaming around the seminary road. There are the accounts from modern times as well. Tourists who didn't know about the legend have reported feeling an unexplained chill when passing by the tree. Some have seen their photographs showing a mysterious woman in white standing near the tree. Auto rickshaw drivers in the area refuse to stop near the banyan tree after 9 p.m. They say their vehicles sometimes stop working for no reason when they pass by the tree at night. Remember, I told you that the workers had nailed a cross to the banyan tree? Well, here's something even more mysterious. A few years later, in 1957, the horizontal part of the cross went missing. Just vanished. Nobody knows how or why. The locals took this as a sign that Christalina was getting restless again. Since then, they have tried various religious rituals, both Christian and Hindu, to appease her spirit. You see, Goa has a very unique cultural mix. Its blend of Indian traditions and Portuguese colonial influence. This mixture has created some very interesting supernatural beliefs. The Hindus in the area call Christalina spirit Ximecho Devchar, which means boundary devil. There's even a small altar near the tree where people offer flowers and pray, hoping to keep Christalina's spirit calm. Now, some people try to give scientific explanation for what happened to Padre. They say that the banyan tree releases carbon dioxide at night, which can cause hallucinations and suffocation. But how does that explain the possession? How does that explain Portuguese priest suddenly speaking Konkani in woman's voice? The most chilling part of this story is that Christalina seems to be very selective about her victims. She doesn't bother everyone who passes by the tree. But when she chooses someone, there is no escape. They say she was probably a lonely soul when she died, and now she's trying to take others with her to the afterlife. Even today in 2025, with all our smartphones and scientific knowledge, the people of Saligao take this haunting very seriously. The seminary students are strictly instructed never to walk alone on the road after sunset. If you ever visit Saligao, which is actually a beautiful place with stunning Madi Duos church and traditional Portuguese house, just remember the story. The village is gorgeous during the day, but when the darkness falls. So there you have it, the haunting tale of Christalina and the cursed banyan tree of Saligao village. A story that shows that even in a place as beautiful as Goa, darkness can lurk in the most unexpected corners. This story makes me think about how we often ignore the warnings of local people. Padre was a learned man, a man of faith, but he dismissed the local belief of superstition. Sometimes it's better to respect the wisdom of the locals. If you enjoyed this spine-chilling tale from Goa, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more horror stories from around India and the world. Let me know in the comments, have you ever visited Saligao? Did you encounter anything strange? Also tell me, would you dare to walk past that banyan tree at midnight? I'm curious to know how brave you are all. Remember, not all of Goa's secrets are beautiful as its beaches. Some secrets are best left undisturbed. Until next time, stay safe and remember, when locals warn you about something supernatural, it's probably better to listen. Sweet dreams, everyone, if you can manage to sleep after this story.